Well, negotiations, right? Politics.
And we're out of time. So you. Hey, y'all, gravity, any day above ground, live it. Hopefully you're having a fantastic start to your weekend. And it seems like it's going to be nice out. College football is getting ready to gear up a new era. And MAGA is still trash. But you already knew that. Let's start off by saying this. As much as we joke about what's going on in this election and how much we understand that a lot's going to change in 6 weeks, regardless of who wins, one thing has seemed to be very evident the last 8 years. Grifters come and go. We understand that. But the sheer ignorance that a grifter can come in and put on their audience will last generations. Which is why when we're on these platforms, we make sure to tell y'all the truth. We make sure to show you where we got it from. We don't even mind that you might have a disagreement with it. But when you're just out here saying things, no context, no historical data, you learned it from what you heard from somebody else, that's dangerous. And it can't happen because you can get people either hurt or dead when you say things like that. And we're going to see a classic example of that this morning because Matt Walsh decided to go over to Breaking Points. He didn't see Crystal and Sagar. He didn't see them. He saw the other two, which you guys will get introduced to this morning. And the sheer ignorance that he displayed on there shows us another glaring reason why MAGA's been trash. But before we start with that, let's see who's in the building. And I'm going on camera this morning. Yes, I am. I feel better. My allergies are not kicking my ass. And I am the captain of this ship. I am the captain. But we'll see who's in the building this morning. Jerry Bedford, hello. Anthony Ruger Phillips, hello. Wallow J, hello. Reparations Nation, hello. Brooklyn Queen 125, hello. Brother Tony Rain, hello. Eddie Foster, hello. Miss Nisi, hello. Cameron Jones, hello. Shakura Burton, hello. Bert, hello. Mom of Two, hello. Cosmo Fury, hello. No Sach, hello. Caldonia, hello. Derry B, hello. Shamika Gray, hello. Charles Gibson, hello. Dead Star, hello. Emperor Rex, hello. Dark Titan, hello. And for those who haven't said anything in the live chat or the comments, hello. Oh, and Emma Crawford, hello. So you know what we got to do before we start? The house cleaning.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purpose, such as criticism,
We are
commenting,
joined now.
news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, education, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Wait around, yep.
Sorry, wrong.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern.
This is way over the edge. Like we it's not even over the edge. We died already.
This is beyond the event horizon. Like we about to hit the vortex.
Yeah, we about to hit the vortex.
Yeah.
By Matt Walsh, who is out with a new movie called Am I Racist? That is in theaters around the country. Matt obviously hosts his eponymous show with the Daily Wire. Matt, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Yeah. Now, the movie's doing pretty well. I don't know if it was a coincidence or fate, whatever it was, as it happened, when your movie was released last week, everyone was debating whether a very particular post on social media was racist. So we thought we would play a little game of was it racist? With Laura Loomer's infamous curry tweet. If Kamala Harris wins, the White House will smell like curry and White House speeches will be facilitated by a call center. The American people will only be able to convey their feedback through a customer satisfaction survey at the end of the call that nobody will understand. One of the interesting things about your movie, which I really enjoyed, Ryan might have something to add on that, we might disagree on it, I really enjoyed it, is getting to the bottom of the the industrial complex that's been built up around race relations that often will advance this silly, incoherent, elite definition that used to be prolific in academia and then leaked out into the rest of the world. So by the sort of definition of racism that you're challenging in this film, is that Laura Loomer tweet racist? And then by the kind of definition that you're trying to promote of racism, which maybe you have a way to explain it, I would define, I don't want to put words in your mouth, as just sort of like genuine discrimination based on this belief that people of a different race are somehow inferior.
Yeah.
Is this post-racist?
I mean, by the definition advanced by the DEI industry, it certainly would count as racist.
And the first words out of his mouth, he has to bring up DEI. We're gonna have fun this morning. So now we have to go by a DEI standard to tell us if something's racist. Okay, family. Let's adjust the seats. I know I should have told y'all to go get the bucket, but you probably got it by now. Matt Walsh. I didn't realize that you needed DEI to determine if something was racist or not. Hey, I have an idea for you, sir. So the next time you see the Klan outside, I'm sure you're going to tell us that that's free speech, right? But we have to go by the DEI standard to tell people that that's racist. Would you like to show us the 10-point checklist of showing everyone on Earth how to determine if something is racist? I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure if I go in an Indian neighborhood and I said this whole place smells like curry, I'm literally going to be called a racist. Thank you, Wallo J. You're literally talking to a DEI person and you're bringing up DEI. Oh, good God. It's already started. Hey, I'm white. and black people are nothing but N-words. That's racist. Wait. Gotta pull out my DEI checklist. Said it was racist. Okay, let me wait. It's upside down because I'm a conservative and I don't know how to read. Hold on. Okay, number one was what you said in terms of quote unquote racist statement towards a person that is not your race. Yes. Number two, was the statement hurtful? Depends on who you is. We have nothing but snowflakes here. Number three, did the person lash out at you for saying said racist? Number four, is this appropriate standard for the year you looked at this? Well, minorities are taking over everything, so I say yes. Number 5, if you have more than 3 of the first 4, you are racist. Shit. Go ahead and take my wallet. Really, Matt Walsh? This is what we're doing. Okay, sure. Yeah. We know where this is going, but let's just get to that journey and that destination.
Right.
I wouldn't call it race. I think it's just kind of a dumb joke.
I wouldn't call it racist. I just called it a dumb joke. Okay.
Not very helpful joke. And also, by the way, I like Indian food. So I think when things smell like curry, I'm a huge fan of curry personally. So I don't see that as an insult. But look,
shout out to the white woman off camera laughing. Shout out to her.
Engaging in stereotypes. It might be insensitive. It might be unhelpful politically, but it's not necessarily racist. In fact, I would say it's often not racist because to me, what racism means is that you hate people of another race and or you think they're inferior to you in some way.
Well, thank you, Matt. We didn't know that.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. It's perfect.
Oh, cowards! All of them!
So all those times you said racist jokes, you didn't think the people were inferior to you. They weren't racist. You weren't thinking they were inferior to you. Okay. All right. You running outside playing per capita games. All right. Okay, dude. And we're only almost 2.5 minutes in. Oh, this is going to be fun.
Get to work!
Inherently because of their, immutable characteristics. So that's racism. And as long as you don't feel that way about another race of people, then you're not racist. You might have stereotypical views about another group of people. Everybody does. But it's not automatically racist if you don't also harbor that ill will towards them. And as far as whether or not, so the real answer is that with the Laura Loomer tweet, I wouldn't say that it's racist. The only person who can answer whether it's racist is her. We'd have to ask her, well, do you hate people of Indian descent? Do you think that they're inferior to you in some way? If the answer is yes, then yeah, that's racist. But she'd probably say no. And if she said no, then I'll have to take her word for it. She's the only one who can speak to her own, what's going on in her own mind and her own heart.
Although she's a Trump supporter, she wants
You want me to sing YMCA? Nah, because then I get a cease and desist like Trump's about to get. But we'll say this. Let me get a MAGA, because they're all trash because they're MAGA. All they do is spout some bull, and then they go away. I just made that up, so I ain't got no lyrics. Leave me alone.
Kamala to lose. Presumably, she's making the point in a negative way,
Well,
right? Like this is a bad thing.
That's
like
kind
call center and like she's saying these are all bad things.
Well, this is an interesting point about
So that
stereotyping.
would, by your definition, make it.
Because stereotyping is often leveraged to say that there's something negative that is generally attributed to someone of a different race.
Right. That's good. It's correct. It's negative. She means it in a negative way. Because we can assume that she thinks things smelling like curry is a bad thing. I guess not a fan of Indian food. But you can believe or engage in or repeat negative stereotypes and not be racist. You might just happen to think. So, for example, I'll give another example. Somebody might say, Asians are bad drivers. I don't know if that's actually true statistically. I'm not sure.
God.
But if you happen to believe that it's true, does that mean that you hate Asians? No, it just means that you think that Asians by and large are bad drivers. It doesn't mean you hate them. It doesn't mean that you're racist against them.
Although it could mean that you think there's like an intellectual inferiority, or it can mean you think there's a cultural reason that they're bad at driving in Western countries.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, and no one thinks that Asians are intellectually inferior. I think everybody understands that that's one of the other, because stereotypes can be positive too. Another stereotype is that they're very good at math and science and that sort of thing. So, there are.
He just called them test-taking robots. Hey, AAPI, the person that y'all desire to be with just said that you are a test-taking robot. How do you respond to that? And you notice how he didn't say anything about them not being bad drivers. He just said some bullshit about we don't know if that's true. But I'm sure he said that once or twice. But Matt, usually if they put something negative based a stereotype on somebody, that means that it's been said enough that it becomes the truth. Kind of like y'all when y'all talk about fried chicken and then you get upset when you say fried chicken and black people, and then then everybody's like, why would you say something like that? What do you mean? I like fried chicken and I like watermelon. Okay, motherfucker, but you're talking to a group of people that your ancestors legitimately sat there and attributed fried chicken and watermelon to. But you're going to wow us with this intellect, right? Because MAGA has forged you by the flame of the barbecue lighter. So I'm sure you're gonna. Where is this intellect? We're about to hear the intellect family. Let's go.
Get to work!
He's just warming up.
Generalizations you can make about groups of people that that can be largely true. And you know, I'm not sure I've ever heard a stereotype where I thought to myself, well, that bears no resemblance to reality. I don't know, unless one of you can think. I've never heard a stereotype where I said, I don't even know where that comes from. That's just falling out of the sky. Usually stereotypes arise because, you know, society has observed things about groups of people, and they can be negative, they can be positive, but I don't see them as inherently racist.
No, we have a clip from the film that we want to roll here. Let's go ahead and play this. This is from the dinner scene. Matt, you've probably seen this 100 times by now, but let's take a watch.
I used to be a white woman, an unsuccessful one, for many decades, and it was a miserable experience. And really, the hatred of yourselves and each other is like the not seeing your power, the being afraid. Like, all you do is talk shit about each other, talk shit about yourself. Oh my God, I'm so fat.
That's all they do. I tell you, these white women.
But that's it. It's I'm so fat, I'm so stupid, I'm blah blah blah.
Sorry.
Your kids are watching you, and they're watching you talking shit about each other, you know, raging against a machine or being silent or whatever the hell it is that you're doing or not doing, and they know that you're not doing shit for them.
That's so important. That is so important what you just said. It's really important. That's all.
We may have to add you to our team.
Oh, I would love to take a seat and join you.
No, you're not allowed to.
How'd you get the cameras in there, by the way? Like, set that up?
I'm sorry. Was that supposed to be funny or witty? Him just interrupting a conversation? Shout out to MAGA.
For us.
Yeah, they're not hidden cameras.
Obviously, they're like cinematic level.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody knew
everybody's mic'd up. And
everybody's mic'd. Everybody knew they were being filmed. And they thought they were being filmed for a documentary about anti-racism, which they were, because that is what we made. So we, you know, that's what we told people. We're making a documentary on anti-racism.
And they know you were involved in it?
Probably not.
Who just threw their phone? Did you hear what he said? He said he was making a documentary on anti-racism. Woo! I think that was the first day he said funny all day. That it really wasn't. I think the Joker laugh was funnier than what he just did in that room, and that's over 20 years old.
Probably not.
So like this waiter, like they didn't know that the waiter was part of the film.
No, they didn't.
But they knew you had to be mic'd up because everybody in the kitchen and everywhere else had signed the thing. Is that how that worked?
I don't think they knew that I had a mic on. And I wanted to sit at the table at the Race to Dinner and be a part of the conversation, but we were told that they only accept women to be at the table, which I thought was interesting, because then our next question is, well, what is a woman? Which kind of harkens back to our first film.
And you later do sit down in that scene.
Yeah, well, I kind of invited I earned my seat at the table. I invited myself to be a part of the dinner. And I felt
as a man does.
It's painful.
Did a little mansplaining to the women, and they seemed to really enjoy it.
It's weird to me because they famously, I guess it's not so famous, but they back in, I mean, this was years ago. I think this was pre-COVID. There was a podcast called Femsplainers that Danielle from Crittenden from, and Christina Hoff Summers hosted, where they had a similar experience with Syra Rao over the Race to Dinner stuff. And you'd think they would be way more careful, but it seems as though maybe they let their guard down. I don't know.
Yeah, that is, of course, I get this question all the time. It's like, how did they not recognize me, or how did they not ask more questions? And I guess I don't.
You know why they didn't recognize you? Because you're nobody. Who are you, sir? Do you understand this? He's lamenting right now that in his own film they didn't recognize who he was. What have I told y'all? All MAGA don't care about nothing what they say. They just wanted to be celebrities. I've been validated again. That's all they want to be is celebrities. They want to get on TV. They want some celebrity to be on their social media arguing with them so they could keep retweeting it, and then have their fans over there so they can have witnesses. They don't care about the truth. Like I said yesterday in the live, they will lie to you with the truth in their hand. Thank you, Matt Walsh, for admitting the truth. MAGA and all these idiots and all these punks with blue checks, they just want to be celebrities. They want to get, they yearn to be in Hollywood. That's why they brought in Kevin Sorbo. That's why they brought in, to a lesser extent, Isaiah Washington. I don't hate the brother. I'm just trying to tell y'all a story. Y'all be grifting off these celebrities, which ironically, Isaiah Washington is the biggest celebrity y'all got. But all y'all wanted to do was grift over there, hoping maybe one day you'll meet the same person that you be doing reaction videos on. Wait, Chuck Norris is MAGA? I didn't know that. Well, if he is, I mean, he's probably the only one that people don't hate. But you were wrong, Anthony. Chuck Norris is not MAGA. MAGA is Chuck Norris. But let's get back to it. They're going to kick Dean Cain out soon when they find out he really mixed. They're going to kick him out.
Oh, I don't like saying that. I don't like saying that. Oof.
Yeah, that was kind of fucked up, but you know, I'm just saying.
Get to work.
I don't know the answer to that question, but I do think that the answer I generally give, I think is correct, is that a lot of these people live in kind of a bubble. So number one, they're not as aware of, you know, people outside that bubble as we assume they are. So me as someone in conservative media, I'm actually outside of their bubble, which is weird to me because I know everybody in liberal media. Because I keep, I want to know what they're saying.
You hear
so
him?
I kind of assume that they do the same.
You're familiar with Ryan Grimm, noted liberal journalist Ryan Grimm.
So he's right about 12% of the time, which I appreciate.
I'll take that.
So, but they're kind of in this interesting bubble that they don't not only didn't know who I was, but also I think it was kind of inconceivable to them that they would ever find themselves in a room with someone who doesn't agree with them. I think that just never occurred to them because it's never happened before. Robin DiAngelo appears later in the film, and I think me sitting in the room with her was probably the first time in like 20 years that she's actually. I think me sitting in the room with her was probably the first time in like before. Robin DiAngelo appears later in the film, and I think that just never occurred to them because it's never happened before. Robin DiAngelo appears later in the film, and
who the hell is that? Robin DiAngelo, who the hell is that? Is that somebody I'm supposed to know? The name sounds familiar, but am I supposed to? An American author working in the fields of critical discourse analysis and whiteness studies. What the? I'm not, bruh. I did not I did not make that up. Look. Oh shit. She said something about the black community. Oh Lord. Okay. We might have the whiteness studies. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. You got tricked into paying reparations to Matt Walsh's producer. What is going on? Oh my God. What? Okay. Oh, we gonna have to study this woman. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, this is, you know what? Rabbit hole. Let's keep a pin in this. But let's get back to the show. I don't know what.
Get to work.
I think me sitting in the room with her was probably the first time in like 20 years that she's actually sat across the room from someone who doesn't already agree with everything that she thinks.
Part of the 12% that I've been right about over the years, I think, has been that I do think this entire DEI industry is, you know, a grift, and it's just milking corporations.
Here we go.
And also that
You've
it
written
is-
about that.
Yeah, and that it is actively harmful in the sense that when like corporations, I actually do believe that corporations oftentimes internally do have racist structures set up within them, and also they all operate sometimes in racist ways. And when they get sued for that, and they're facing the consequences of that, one of the things that they do is they hire these DEI consultants,
Right.
and say, well, you can't come after us. Actually, how could we possibly be racist? Like, we spent this money to bring these consultants in, and the consultants then are cover for their more systemic racism to be allowed to continue without being interrogated. What it does is it turns the interrogation inward, where you say, well, these structures and these corporations can't be challenged. What we really need to do is look inside and find our own racism. And because we're all born with it or whatever, it's just inculcated in us. None of us are then responsible for it. And so therefore, we're not responsible for actually changing anything on a system-wide basis. But I'm curious, as somebody who like spent so much time within this grift of a system, like, what was your take on these folks? Like, do they believe what they're saying, or have they found like a consultancy that is that they're able to make money on, and they're kind of now locked into it?
Yeah, it's well, the short answer is I don't know exactly if they believe what they say, but it strikes me that they probably don't believe much of it, especially the parts of it that are so absurd on their face. But there's a lot of money in it, as we discovered making the film, and then of course there's a lot of power and influence, and also there's it must feel very, very good for them to be consulted as these kind of moral experts.
But y'all voice yourselves off as moral experts, like you know everything. By the way, I like how y'all always go for the people that take advantage of the system that them folk built, but you never go after them folk. Y'all got pissed at the U.S. women's national basketball team coach and others for not picking Caitlin Clark, but y'all didn't go say, we're going to write letters to Colorado and get it the CEO, get it the people running the day-to-day, the ones who actually picked the team, who have more power than the coach. You didn't do that. Y'all not going to go after Disney as a whole. Y'all going to go after the people that they paid to do the shows. Y'all just gonna say, we're not gonna watch Disney no more. We're gonna cancel our subscription. That'll show them. And then their yearly earnings come out and they made more money than God. But then you still do content saying how bad the show is, even though you told everybody you weren't gonna watch it. We're going to yell at the McDonald's employees because the food is bad. We're not going to go to the McDonald's headquarters and protest that they make a better product. We're not going to do that. We're not going to go blame the government for the systems that they created. We're going to blame the people who are not only taking advantage of it, but people over there in that sector of YouTube that are trying to call it out and bring awareness to it. We're just going to say that they're out there begging and they're out there just doing the most and they're out there just complaining, because we live in America where everybody can succeed. And if you're complaining, then you're doing something wrong. Okay. Wait till you hear what he says about systemic racism.
And so that's what they get out of it. So it's actually not very complicated. That's why they're in this, because they money, power, influence. Right? It's a tale told as time. Now, on the other hand, you've got, so that's like the Robin DiAngelos of the world, selling the books, making millions of dollars. But then you've got the people that are actually buying the books and who are going to the race to dinner and going to these seminars that we kind of crashed for our film. They're a more interesting case because they're not getting any money out of it. They're spending money and they're not getting power, influence out of it. So for them, I think part of it's like
You see how you just told that lie? You see how he told that lie? Sir, we can take Robin DiAngelo out of this equation when it comes to y'all over there in MAGA. And guess who we can insert right into that space? Who wants to take a shot at the title? Who can we take Robin DiAngelo out for to illustrate his point? This is a very specific name. Remember, we'll give you some clues. People know who they are. They've written books. It's a very simple name. We talked about this individual the other day. I'm gonna play what he just said again, so maybe it'll help jog maybe it'll help you jog what he's trying to say.
Going to these seminars that we kind of crashed. Now, on the other hand, you've got, so that's like the Robin DiAngelos of the world, selling the books, making millions of dollars. But then you've got the people that are actually buying the books and who are going to the race to dinner and going to these seminars that we kind of crashed for our film. They're a more interesting case because they're not getting any money out of it. They're spending money and they're not getting power influence out of it.
Thank you, SD Johnson. Thomas so unwell. Matt Walsh, you and your ilk love to tell us that he wrote 52 books. Wonderful. And he still has no, I repeat, no credibility out here. None. Let's ask you this question, sir. I bet y'all never thought of this. Let's see. Over the last, we'll say, 40 years, George Bush the first, George Bush the second, Trump. 3 Republican presidents. Thomas Sowell, so unwell, is 94 years old. So 16 of those years, not near one of them ever brought that man up. And you would have figured that Bush too, with the bad economy that he had, he'd have brought him up and say, you know what, maybe I need to listen to Thomas Sowell. Maybe I need to have Thomas Sowell come over to the White House and sit down with us and get to chopping up this economic failure, this economic fable. Let's get to chopping this fable. Never once did he do that, because you would know if they did that, conservatives would have had that picture like they have white Jesus in their house. Not one. Trump didn't even do it. And that's when he still had his faculties. Just think about it, family. Thomas so unwell, again, is someone to make you feel safe and stupid, because you're not going to go do the research to find out what the true answer is. He's not going to, that type of person is not going to make you go outside and look at the different variables. That man literally sat there in 2020 and said that there's no such thing as systemic racism. He literally wrote that in the newspaper as an op-ed. There's no more systemic racism. Okay, black man. Okay. Sure. You'll find out. But let's get back to this, because the show is about to really start.
Get to work!
So for them, I think part of it's like a virtue signal. They want to be able to tell their friends that, hey, I went to race to dinner and it was so life-changing. But then most of it for those people is that I think they actually do believe it. It is speaking to something. There's like something going on inside them. I don't know if it's just like a kind of guilt or something that they carry around.
Guilt.
And a lot of them are secular. They don't have religion. And so this becomes kind of like a replacement for religion. I don't know if that's part of it. I think it's probably part of it.
Yeah, I feel like those people have kind of correctly identified that they were raised in a society that still does have racism as part of it.
And as I think any multicultural society always will.
Can't be racist.
Well, it's their way of kind of trying to confront it. I think it's ill thought out, but I understand where they're coming from.
But what I would say to, yes, there's still racism in society. There always will be.
There we go.
As long as there are different races and cultures living together, you can have racism.
Uh-huh.
I think we have a lot less of it than pretty much anywhere else on Earth.
Oh, that ain't even the full part. Wait a minute. We have been validated again. We're going to play it again. You didn't hear him say it. You thought you heard something. We're going to let him play it again.
Yes, there's still racism in society. There always will be. As long as there are different races and cultures living together, you can have racism.
Correct.
I think we have a lot less of it than pretty much anywhere else on Earth.
This motherfucker just compared us to South Africa, family. Do you hear what he just said? We have racism in this country. We just have a lot less of it than other places in the world. What? Bruh, most of y'all made y'all career off racism. What are you talking? I'm finna take these glasses off. Matt Walsh, MAGA. If you still have a Daily Wire Plus account, you deserve to get fleeced every month. You deserve it. This fool left the confines of wherever he films at to literally tell us and the YouTube audience that the United States is among one of the countries with the lowest amount of racism. Matt Walsh, you're literally watching cops here fuck with black people every day. They just indicted, they just found 6 cops guilty for doing things to 2 black men in Mississippi, including shooting one of them in the mouth. We still don't know what happened to the young boy down here in Atlanta who was wrapped up in the gym mats. We don't know where that black woman who went to the sleepover, we still don't know where her body is. And that's almost a decade now. George Floyd, that galvanized the entire world. You said that this country has less racism than other places. They literally wrote a fucking law because of racism for a group of people. Y'all jumped on that Nashville manifesto and that Nashville shooter. Y'all said that was racist. You got the whole world watching X with all these accounts saying racist shit about everybody else, but we have the less racism, right? Every time something racist goes down, it goes viral. Y'all's Candace Owens literally just went in front of folk in her show, going in on Jewish people. Let me guess. Now you're going to say that she not U.S., right? That's what you're going to tell us. Y'all literally sat there in 2020 with the scamdemic and literally demonized everybody. Payne Gendron, anybody? Dylan Roof, anybody? Sandra Bland, Tamir Rice. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. According to him, calm down. The Fearless Fund. Okay, that wasn't racist, right? That wasn't racist. STEM program for Black and Latino kids in New York. Whites and Asians had to prove their their income. And you got city council members of the AAPI going trying to knock it down. That's not racist. Okay. Affirmative action just got knocked down because y'all said it was racist, even though it wasn't. But according to Matt Walsh, South Africa, UK, Japan, because Japan got hella racism. Don't let them not lie to you like that. We got China, especially what they're doing with the Uyghur Muslims. We got the Middle East. Ain't no racism in the Middle East, according to Matt Walsh. Ain't no racism. No, I tell a lie. He's saying that there's more racism in the Middle East than here in the US. Y'all see what's going on in Africa, but that's more than what we got in the US. Say less, Matt Walsh. You're so smart. You're going to regale us with some more of this wit that you learned from MAGA.
Get to work!
But whatever racism you find in society now is individual. It's not systemic. It's not in the system. These systems are not set up to disadvantage quote unquote people of color. In fact, the only real systemic racism you find anymore is the kind that's targeted at white people and also Asians. That's what affirmative action is. Like that. The only time you'll ever find a policy that specifically says, here's an advantage that you can't have if you're a race. The only time it ever says that is if it's singling out white and or Asian people.
Talking about? Play it again. Y'all gotta hear this. Play it again.
You find anymore is the kind that's targeted at white people and also Asians.
You just said there was no systemic racism. Now you're telling us there's systemic racism against white people. So that means there's systemic racism. MAGA, y'all not sending your best and your brightest. Matt Walsh, 10 seconds ago. I'm going to repeat this again because repetition is the mother of skill. Something to that effect. I don't remember the exact quote. But Matt Walsh, you just said 10 seconds ago there was no systemic racism. 10 seconds after that, you just said the only systemic racism in this country is against white people. So that's systemic racism by logic, you fool. You fool. And y'all are still paying for this man. And y'all are still paying for this man. Oh, God.
Of action is like that. The only time you'll ever find a policy that specifically says, here's an advantage that you can't have if you're a race. The only time it ever says that is if it's singling out white and or Asian people.
You're a dumbass. Affirmative action benefited white women. They're considered a triple minority, sir. Maybe you didn't know this. Asians are a minority. Black people are a minority. Latinos are a minority. Yes. It was designed for the cousins. Everybody else took advantage of it. Were they pissed? Yes. But they said, okay, fine, fuck it, whatever. It's fucked up, but you know what? It is what it is. Fine. And we kept telling y'all, as the years go by, it doesn't help us. It doesn't. But y'all didn't want to hear it. Okay, you sent Ed Blum on a crash out mission for 7 years. Okay, it's gone now. Now Asians ain't getting in like they used to. Now y'all are crying. Black numbers went up across around certain places. Latino numbers went up. Now y'all are complaining. Your numbers didn't change that much. But there's systemic racism against white people. In a country they dominate, there's systemic racism against white people. We're going to ignore the black people that have gotten lower appraisals on their homes. We're going to ignore that. We're going to ignore the racism in the media. We're going to ignore that. The racism in law. We're going to ignore that. The racism in entertainment. We're going to ignore that. We're going to ignore the racism in what do you call it, in the school system. We're gonna ignore those. Those don't exist. We're going to ignore that because we got to look at white people. No, Miss Sneesy. It's open mouth, insert his ass. Pause. What?
It doesn't go the other way anymore.
Well, so what about, and even people on the right now are saying Republicans have singled out Haitians, and this is an interesting segue.
That's not
we're talking
racist.
about
Okay.
Multiculturalism and how wherever you have different people from different backgrounds, races, ethnicities put together, there will always be some types of discrimination, and the goal of the culture should be to minimize that. Has there been legitimate racism directed by high-profile Republican lawmakers? This is the accusation on the table towards the Haitian community in the United States, and particularly in Springfield, Ohio, in the last couple of weeks.
No, absolutely not. I haven't heard it. Everything.
You hear him. Now he didn't hear it. Ask your question again, long-winded as it was.
Different people from different backgrounds, races, ethnicities put together, there will always be some types of discrimination, and the goal of the culture should be to minimize that. Has there been legitimate racism directed by high-profile Republican lawmakers? This is the accusation on the table towards the Haitian community in the United States, and particularly in Springfield, Ohio, in the last couple of weeks.
No, absolutely not. I haven't heard it.
This guy's a So we didn't see Ted Cruz say what he said. We didn't see that. We didn't see what Trump did at the debate. We didn't see that. That's two of your high-ranking Republicans. We didn't see that. We didn't see J.D. Vance dance around that question and literally say, I'm going to make up the story to get the problem out there. We're going to ignore that. That's three. That's three. High profile ranking Republicans. Three. You didn't hear it. You watched the debate like everybody did. You're going to act like Trump didn't say what he said. I'm sure he did. Thank you for that, Torian. I'm sure he did. Okay, Matt Walsh, let's play the game, sir. So you're really going to tell us you didn't hear it.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
You didn't hear that, right? I'm sure you probably laughed at the song that somebody made about him remixing all that. I'm sure you did. You didn't see that, right? This fuck. Family. Family. Hey, Torian, if you can find that clip find that tweet for me, or that video. Find that video for me. I'm gonna go back to his bullshit. How you gonna sit in front of a bunch of liberals and moderates and lie like this?
Get to work!
Everything I've heard has been critical of the fact that we're importing, thousands of people from the third world who are coming into communities. And look, America, nobody thinks that it will benefit America to become more like Haiti. Nobody thinks that.
No, who the fuck said that?
Or I would challenge anyone, if they do think that, to explain how that's the case. Like, in what way could this country be improved by making it more like Haiti? When you look at Haiti, what part of Haiti are you saying to yourself, we need more of that?
Oh my God.
Beaches.
Well, we have more.
I've been validated again. I told y'all 2 years ago they were going to make the Haitians the face of illegal immigration. And there it is. They sent out the script. Ain't no more about them Latinos. It's the Haitians doing all the dirt. My God. Family. We're in. So Matt Walsh, you didn't make this video, huh? Third world immigrants are ruining our towns and eating our pets, literally. Okay, Matt Walsh, you all right. Okay, Matt, you didn't say this. All right. Okay. Okay. You didn't say.
Beach is an end too, right? Don't we?
Right.
We're a much bigger country.
We don't want a marine invasion and occupation of.
Okay, so apparently the U.S. is striving to be Haiti, and he's among the contingent trying not to have that happen. When the hell did America ever say they wanted to be Haiti or try to get down to Haiti? What? Wait till you hear this exchange, though. Look. I want y'all to keep a pin in the way Matt is sitting because he says something profound. Watch the white man. This white man right here finna end his whole world. By the way, just remember, they're liberals. He's talking to two liberals. I don't know if I pointed that out earlier, but we need to preface that once again. He's talking to two liberals.
The United States that constantly decapitates governments and takes the money out of the country.
Saddles
us with,
we don't want the Clintons
debt
either.
from a revolution.
Right. Although I don't. So you're saying that
we wouldn't want to be like basically a colony that the entire West spends 200 years punishing after the Haitian Revolution.
I get that. I understand that, but also at a certain
we wouldn't want that. No, yes,
we wouldn't want that. But I would also say that that's not entirely why Haiti's in the position that it's in. I mean, at a certain point, as a country, you have to stand on your own 2 feet and take care of yourself. And
but what point is that?
God. Now you see why I titled it the way I did. He don't even know U.S. geopolitics. That escaped him. That the U.S. has constantly screwed with governments. Okay, Matt, history lesson. You know we did that in Iraq, right? After they killed Saddam, they installed their own person there. Ukraine, same thing. Maybe you didn't know that.
Elect Aristide and we overthrow Aristide. Then they elect Jovenel Moïse. Jovenel Moïse is assassinated a bunch of people with American connections, and then we install in 2021. Like the United States installed the prime minister that we just ousted. Like, so we could say, okay, yeah, you got to get over the 200 years ago, but like we're still doing it.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not in favor of. I'm very non-interventionist in my policies, so I'm not in favor of most of the things that we're doing in other countries.
We just made the new government in Haiti in a hotel room in Jamaica. And then we insisted that whatever government we made in Jamaica had to allow Kenyan troops to come in under the flag of the UN in order to go to war with the gangs.
Yeah, I'm not interested in. If it were up to me, I'm not interested in doing anything in Haiti. Like let Haiti be Haiti and take care of that. That's sort of my whole point here. Let them take care of themselves and their own problems. I'm also not saying that there's like never a scenario where we let someone from Haiti into the country. So
if you want them to take care of themselves, why aren't you championing what barbecue was doing down there? It's not sexy enough for you. If you want them to take care of themselves, you should have been against Kenya going there. You should have been against Jamaica sending cops over there. Seems to me that y'all don't like the fact that Black countries, Afro countries, are taking care of themselves and they're moving in the right direction without white intervention. I don't think y'all like that too tough. It's funny when Niger and Chad and Burkina Faso were going through what they were going through. Oh, let's report on these coups. Okay, that's news. We should do that. Then as soon as the coups are over and the governments get installed by them over there, not white people, and they start making moves to oust white people and their influence on their country, all of a sudden their country's decisions and their country's movements, they're not lauded in the media. Hey, Black family, I think we really need to make sure y'all get y'all's reparations so you can become a nation unto yourself. Maybe they'll ignore you. I mean, we have precedent. If you do your own thing with your own money and your own resources, maybe they won't look at you. They'll ignore you. You can live in peace. I think we need to make this happen. No, D-Money, they already finished. They finished about a year or two ago. And France don't like it. Okay, Matt, keep regaling us with this knowledge that you have gleaned for the last 8 years.
It doesn't have to just be about Haiti, but when you're throwing open the gates and just inviting anyone, in particular,
I guess your assumption there was that it is Haitian people that are creating the conditions on Haiti, and then that if the Haitian people come to Springfield, they will recreate the conditions.
Well, but I don't think you
Haiti in Springfield. Whereas what I'm saying is that it's actually the U.S. that is.
I don't think you can entirely put it on
largely,
but it's still a country comprised of people, right?
But without its own autonomy.
Okay, but you can't. I don't think you can entirely put it on the United States. Like Haitian people have nothing to do whatsoever with the state of their own country. Nothing. I mean, I think that's a bit absurd. I'm perfectly willing to, as I said, agree that a lot of the United States sort of adventurism and interventions in other countries has been unwise, and I prefer for us to focus on our own country, not try to build governments in other countries. But at the same time,
so the other countries, you're not cool with the U.S. intervening, but you heard the U.S. intervene in Haiti, and you blame the Haitians. 100%. U.S. had nothing to do with it. They had a little bit to do with it, I should say. A little bit. So we just missed the Haiti earthquake in 2010 when the Clinton Foundation ran down there with the Red Cross and the Salvation Army and not only took all the damn resources out to the tune of over $1 billion, which conservatively should be more, but all them kids that came up missing, we just going to ignore that, right? We'll just ignore that. Okay.
I think that you can't completely absolve the people of any country of the problem, just like in this country. The problems that we have in our country, we can point to the government, we can point to immigration, we can point to all those things. But ultimately, like the people of the country have to be responsible for their own nation. And I say that.
Wonderful. He said it. There you go, family. So great. I'm glad you said that, Matt Walsh. So great. We're going to blame you, white people, for the ills of this country. I feel it coming on. Pause. Matt Walsh, the reason why this country is so racist is because of white people.
You want some more?
We might have more. Remember, he opened this door. We didn't do it. He did it. Matt Walsh, the reason why the cops are the way they are is because of white people.
You want some more?
We might have more. Matt Walsh, the reason why all the shit that we need out here is so damn expensive is because of white people.
You want some more?
We might have more. Since y'all want to be the power structure in this country and you want to make sure everybody knows it, Matt Walsh, the reason why cable companies are charging damn near $200 for some internet is because of white people.
You want some more?
We might have more. Matt Walsh, the reason why you can't get basic necessities to help you function in life, as is auto parts, stuff for parties, you've got major corporations that we grew up with closing or refile or filing for bankruptcy because of Amazon, correct? That's a white person.
You want some more?
We might have more. Matt Walsh, the reason why there's so much sickness in this country is because white people like Bill Gates and others are modifying our food, inviting man-made elements into our body that we don't need and cannot process. We're going to blame white people for that.
You want some more?
We might have more. Matt Walsh, the reason why we got so many people that unceremoniously got deleted and passed away in 2020 up until this point because of a flu that presented as a flu was because white people just didn't trust people to make their own decisions. They had to tell them what to do. So they introduced a synthetic compound to the world, and now here we are.
You want some more?
We might have more. Matt Walsh, the reason why y'all get ridiculed for not going into the bathroom and hopping into the tub and showering, that's white people.
You want some more?
We might have more. Matt Walsh, the reason why sports for a larger majority of people are unwatchable is because the fan base makes it unwatchable. You know who's the majority of the fan base? White people.
You want some more?
We might have more. Thank you, Bert. The reason this country is hell-bent on collapsing, white people.
You want some more?
We might have more. The reason this country has no sustainability plan, white people.
You want some more?
We might have more. We're going to go back up. Maybe somebody says something else. The reason the country is sunburnt because of white people. Well, that's nature, but I understand what you're saying. White people destroyed the ozone layer.
You want some more?
We might have more. I will. Hello, LVZ. I will go check that for you in 1 second. The reason the country is wicked, white people. Wicked.
You want some more?
We might have more. The reason why white supremacy is festering in this country, white people.
You want some more?
We might have more. There you go. The reason why DEI is the next dog whistle, PC. There you go.
You want some more?
We might have more. Matt Walsh.
You want some more? Do you? All right, bim, bam, boom. Somebody.
You're not one, so you don't get the end of it. Anyway, do you see how stupid that sounds? But there's some truth in it. If y'all want to run around and say this is a white country and this is a white power structure and white people have to be on top and you get to be the moral and authoritative voice out here, you got to take the consequences with it. Black folks ain't telling y'all we want to run this country. Ain't nobody saying that. We is saying, well, I'm just speaking for me. Let us compete. Let's have the fun. Let's have the discussion. Let's go out there and put big bank versus big bank and see who wins. I thought y'all thrived off competition. Nah, y'all don't want to do that. Why? Because your inferiorities will show up. See, we can take an L. It's okay. We learn from it. Y'all take an L. Y'all ready to delete everybody, whether it be a person, a place, or a thing. That's right, family. Leave it to white people. They would delete nouns. They would delete nouns, adjectives, prepositions, pronouns, which they're trying to do now. Subjective verbs, transitive verbs, transitive nouns. Don't say trans around them, they get upset. Can't even say transmission around them no more. They get upset. They so upset, family. They made them change the word transmission to drivetrain. Thank you, Matt Walsh. You have made living in this country not fun. It used to be fun.
Get to work!
That of all nations.
Right. Fair enough. So you said earlier that we have less racism here than lots of other countries.
Yeah.
I think it's a fair point to make.
Yeah.
And obviously you would acknowledge that at some point in our history, we had lots of racism, right?
Sure.
Lots of racism then, less racism now.
Mm-hmm.
So when did we get to a point where it wasn't systemic and it was no longer a problem that we as a democratic
this should
society
be
need to deal with?
wonderful.
Like, what was the moment in your mind?
Well, I'm not sure that you could point to one exact moment in time when it goes from a systemic issue to not systemic anymore. But what we know for sure is that right now we are certainly in the moments where it's not systemic. Any time in history, I'll answer your question.
Yeah.
At any point in history, when you can go back and look at actual laws and policies that were in place that deprived Black Americans or any other group of rights, well, that was a time when you had systemic, and we know that existed historically.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to point to an exact moment, I mean, I guess the most obvious moment would be the Civil Rights Act. But of course, these are changes that happen gradually over time. Just like with slavery, you can't, even with slavery, you can't really, people like to point to the Emancipation Proclamation as the moment when slavery was ended. Of course, we know that wasn't.
Okay, I was waiting for one of them to show up. Hey, dumbass, who told you we were voting for Kamala? Now, Damien, you seem new, but welcome. Number one, you wrote this bullshit, right? You wrote this bullshit. Can't even spell twerking, but okay. Number two, you wrote it in all caps. Number three, you then wrote regularly. You didn't even say good morning. You didn't even say good morning. I would have entertained you if you said good morning. So what we're going to do, your mama's a cuck and your daddy, but that's okay. We're going to let you live because you must be Matt Walsh. You got to be, because you can't be this upset. You can't be. So what we're going to do for you, sir. Now, do y'all want me to just block him or just let him up here and let him talk? Let's see how strong of an American he is. Or she, because we don't discriminate here. Should we let him up here? Trump is coming for my ass. That is pause. That's kind of gay.
Pause. I said pause, nigga. Mind you, LeBron is spending $2.5 million on his body. Pause.
I would give it to Barkley. Pause. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy, but I'll let you go. Pause. It's a luxury to have a big man. Pause. They gave him the soft one. The hard one, pause. Pause, nigga.
Bruh, that's wild. Y'all blocked him already? Don't block him. The motherfucker didn't even say good morning. Trump Johnson. We're going to leave that link there. That's for y'all later. But I want to see if this pussy's going to come up here. He didn't even realize that when he came in there, his name was his letter was in a brown circle because he full of shit. That was way pause. Trump coming for my booty. Bruh. He might have been in Tariq's space last night. Yeah, we'll give him a minute. Let's see if his punk ass will come up here. Come up here, pussy. Come on now. You talking real big. Let's go. Let me see it. Let me see it. I know you got to put your thong back on. I get it. Let's see it. That motherfucker couldn't even spell twerking. The E and the I are not even, look, family, the E and the I aren't even near each other. Look where the E is. Wait, let me back up a little bit. Look where the E is. The E is over here. Bruh, look where the I is. Bruh, you're not even, how did you make that mistake? Jesus. Oh, he ran like a puss bag. Oh, I know. His wife made him go do chores while she's sitting down eating grapes. And while he's doing the chores, she ain't even getting hot. She telling the nigga, you really missed the spot. She turned her head when he bent over. This must be, you know what? He must be Janet Jackson's husband for Color Girls. That's what it was. I was going to say something wrong, but I'm going to be quiet. Period. Period. That motherfucker got to go to the hospital and they have to have emergency surgery when he get a paper cut. Voted for Kamami. That was a good one. That was a good one. Oh boy, you gotta love him. YouTube, number 5. Send me some better trolls, please. I'm requesting it. Send me some better trolls. At least trolls that can spell. Be kind of nice.
Get to work!
When it ended. So we know we don't have slavery anymore, but if you were to ask me, what's the exact moment when slavery stopped? Well, it wasn't an exact moment. It was a gradual ending of that horrific institution. But certainly now it doesn't exist anymore. And I'd say the same thing with systemic racism as well, that there's nobody is creating policies, again, that are deliberately intended to create disadvantages for quote unquote people of color.
I have a question about that.
You lying motherfucker, you. Okay, Matt Walsh. Come here. He don't know. He said slavery's gone. Okay. All right, dude. All right, dude. Explain this, you dumb mother. Explain this. Explain it. I'll blow it up. You got glasses, so you should be able to see it, but I'm gonna help you anyway, because that's what black people do. Explain this. This literally helped a group of people. Not America. Y'all so focused on that George Floyd Policing Act and that John Lewis Voting Act because they got black names attached to it. You fucking missed this. By the way, they took $50 million of our taxpayer money to give them this, along with a task force. You bastard, you. I love how you forgot that.
Nobody is creating policies, again, that are deliberately intended to create disadvantages for quote unquote people of color.
I have a question about that. A lot of conservatives will say there is one policy, and this is, you're about as anti-abortion and pro-life as it gets. A lot of conservatives will say a remaining institution of systemic racism is abortion because it disproportionately, as conservatives make this argument, affects black children and black families. Is that
like they care about black
racism or racism, period?
And I think it's a mistake when conservatives make that point, because I think conservatives are very desperate to be able to do the whole thing where they turn back on Democrats and say the Dems are the real racists.
Yes.
And I just think that's a lame move. And you're trying to use the left's own language against it, which I think it doesn't work because you're accepting sort of their premise. So what I'd say about abortion is, no, it's not systemically racist. It does disproportionately impact the Black community, no question about it. But does it exist for that? Really? Is Planned Parenthood, is that why they exist right now? Because they want to kill Black babies? No.
Yes.
Planned Parenthood exists because they want to kill babies, and they don't care what color the baby is. They just want the money that comes from it.
Okay, Matt, find us a Planned Parenthood in a white neighborhood, sir. Please. Please find us a Planned Parenthood in a white neighborhood. I love how y'all just go around and forget what Margaret Sanger said way back almost 200 years ago. I love how they always forget that. I'm sorry, 100 years ago. I love how y'all forget this. She wanted to kill Black babies. Oh my God. And he knows, and he's supposed to be held up as a person who's supposed to give out knowledge. Oh God. I can't. I can't. I can't. He can't be serious right now. If you got that coon Candace Owens admitting the shit, why would you lie? Oh my God. She said it. I'm talking about Margaret Sanger. She said it.
But it just so happens that that ends up disproportionately impacting the Black community. And this goes to the disproportionate impact thing, which I'm glad you brought that up, because that's usually what's used to support the theory of systemic racism. Is they say, well, but these policies disproportionately impact certain groups. Okay, they might, but that doesn't mean that they're intended to do that. Just a disproportionate number of Black Americans end up in prison. Does that mean that that's why the prison is there to put Black Americans in it? No.
Yes.
The reason why a disproportionate number of Black Americans end up in prison is that, unfortunately,
yes. They literally made an industry off putting Black people in jail. They all got paid off of it. Matt, maybe you missed it. Y'all can go fact check me right now. There was an article years ago where they found out that Black inmates were, if you put a Black inmate in a prison, the prison got more money. You can literally go look that up. Y'all can go fact check me in real time. Remember when they let out all them prisoners during the coffee venereal disease? And all those private prisons started getting pissed off, talking about we need to fill them back up. Fine man, good morning. You said, what kind of idiot will argue that racism doesn't exist? That's not what he said. He said that he understands there's still racism here. He said it's not systemic. And we heard that Larry Elder say that same dumb shit. There's racism in the country, it's just not systemic. You have 9 areas of human activity. Shout out to Dr. Nelly Fuller Jr. Every one of them is rooted in racism when it comes to Black people. There's always undertones of racism. But he gonna literally sit there and say that. MAGA is frustrating. And y'all want us to build with this. Okay.
Proportionate number of Black Americans commit violent crime. That's just what the stats show. And
Right.
so,
so there's an argument that a system is what it does.
And a disproportionate number of Black Americans out of prison is that, unfortunately, a disproportionate number of Black Americans commit violent crime.
What is
That's just what the
disproportionate,
stats
you
show.
dumbass? Here we go again with the lies. Sir, ain't been disproportionate since goddamn 2019. The fuck? Again, folks, never use per capita to talk about crime stats. It doesn't work. Since I've got to explain this again to the MAGA idiots, per capita cannot be used in crime stats because there's too many variables to consider. Even the FBI doesn't use per capita because they understand that every area is different. That's why they use it for economics, because at most there's about 4 indicators. But it's a set system. When you're talking about crime, there's a whole heap of variables that can change how the numbers are looked. Number one, like what y'all did, y'all all left California and went to Florida. You went to Texas. I guarantee you, if we go look at them stats from 2020 and 2024 in them states, crime went up. And I bet you're going to sit up there and blame the illegals too, right? There's a reason why every year the U.S. News and World Report's top 25 most dangerous cities changes. It's never been consistent. But y'all don't want to talk about that. You just want to blame the FBI for not putting out crime stats that you can literally go to a city's website and get. But you're lazy. Y'all love to talk about the rise in crime. Here's an idea. How about the economy? Y'all would love to bitch about how everything's expensive. Correct. That attributes to crime. You know, when y'all love to say Black people in poor areas commit more crime than white people in nice areas. Correct. Economic disparity breeds crime. Yes. What about the demographics on the gender side? Yes. But you don't want to go there. What happened with DC? DC was wild. Yes, it was. But once you started empowering Black folks, what happened? Crime in DC went down. Then what did y'all do? Y'all gentrified the fucking city. Push all the Black people to Sophies. What happened? That's now the most dangerous part of the city. I wonder why. But all of a sudden now, DC got crime all over the place, even in the nice areas. They got crime over there now. They're ripping off cars in Georgetown. How'd that happen? But of course, you're not going to bring that up. Y'all's Diane Yap ain't going to bring that up. She's never going to tell you San Francisco got wild and it didn't help that once it was becoming wild, that the economic disparities were really blatant. She'll never bring that up. She'll just blame Black folks. All right.
Get to work!
And
right. So there's an argument that a system is what it does, and that claiming otherwise is just kind of hocus pocus, just magic. Like if a system produces a certain result, but you as an observer of that system say, well, actually, that's not what the system is supposed to do. Those words are just meaningless.
What about
and
a
that
system?
the system just chews them up and spits them out and produces and continues to produce the result that it produces. Like, for instance, during Jim Crow, pre-Civil Rights Act, you've got laws on the books that are systemically racist, that allow for straight up racist results. And when it comes to
design of the system was explicitly racist.
Design of the system is aimed at producing segregated schools and low-income households. Low-income neighborhoods that are predominantly or almost exclusively populated by Black Americans, right?
Do
you then
see
pass
how his
laws
demeanor changed
that
when he was
reform those
getting
laws
cooked?
that make it so that you can't legally do those things anymore. Yet the power structure broadly remains in place, and the results stay the same. You still have, broadly speaking, massive low-income areas predominantly populated by Black families, and you continue to have segregated schools. And so a person who was born into this country today, if they're Black, they're more likely to grow up in one of those neighborhoods. They're more likely to go to terrible schools rather than good schools. They're more likely to end up in prison or in part of the system. And so you would step back and say, well, the system is still doing what it is. The system never stopped doing it. There was never a day
Just read a
from Monday
Thomas
to Tuesday,
Sowell book
Wednesday,
and put on a
that all
MAGA
of a sudden
hat.
the system
Your
stopped
life
working
will
in
be
the same
great.
racist way, which we acknowledge was racist when it was written into the law.
Although the system
But now we
produces
pretend it's not because we struck through that one line.
Yeah, but if we agree that you say the system is what it does, I'd probably disagree with you on that. What the system is intended to do is what it certainly matters here.
But why?
But also,
why would it matter? What we intend a system to do? Because
the system produces a robust Nigerian middle class, like people who come here from Nigeria. Tom Sowell makes this point. It's a point
There it is.
That's a defensive
There it
system.
is. There it is. So now you even got, I don't know if she liberal, but I know that dude is. But goddamn. They just had to drop his name. God damn. Whoo.
That's what I'm
because
saying.
that's what it does.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So does that go both ways?
No, because the intent.
No.
My point is that the intent, whatever you intend a system to do, is meaningless. If you
the system is intended to prop up immigrants. Let's just call it what it is. Since we're gonna get real, let's get real. The system is intended to prop up immigrants. Which I'm sorry to say to y'all white folk, y'all are immigrants. Just like I'm a product of immigrants. They don't look after their own. They've proven that. Any nation on earth with the resources and the power that the US had would be taking care of their people. That's not Western. Y'all empower immigrants because that's an easy class to control. You can't control somebody that doesn't know your history. You can't control somebody that you actively distort information in front of. And they're aware of it. That's why you don't like the Black grassroots. That's why you don't like Black Americans. That's why you don't like other groups that are on code. You don't like that because we understand what the system is. And we'll tell you, nah, you've been doing this since then. Nah, that's not cool. But the immigrants, they don't know. They see opportunity. That's fine. I'm not knocking y'all coming here. I'm not. What I'm saying is they use the immigrant class to destroy the foundational class. Because they can't beat them straight up. It's just like wrestling. You're beating your opponent and then you get a run in. The immigrants are the run in. But just like any run in family, eventually down the road, that same person you just saved is going to turn on you. It's a rhyme old as time.
If you intend for a house to have a roof and a second floor that is sturdy. But when you walk into the second floor, you fall through it.
But that
and the
doesn't
roof
reflect
collapses on you.
But that doesn't reflect on your anti-roof sentiments.
Yeah, and also
it doesn't matter.
And also,
built,
if you
built a
okay,
crappy
to use
house.
your analogy, if you walk into a house and there's a problem in the house, you can't automatically assume that it's the fault of whoever built the house. It could be, depending on the problem. But you also have to look at who's living in the house, who's supposed to be maintaining the house. And if you're living in a house and you're not taking care of it, and in fact you're mistreating the house, and it goes to hell. And then you turn around and blame whoever built the house 100 years ago. Well, I'm going to say, like, well, this is at some point you got to take responsibility for your own house, and so that's my point.
No, dumbass. See, I hope y'all peeped what he just did. That was a direct shot at y'all. He basically just took a shot at reparations without saying the word. He took a shot at y'all again. Matt Walsh, I love how you heard that man's analogy and it was perfectly succinct and you completely missed the point. Y'all built the house, correct? Y'all built this nation. This is what you're saying to everybody. We built this nation. Y'all have all them folk out there talking about without white people, this nation would fall. Okay, fine. You want that credit? Cool. You got to take the criticism with it. The system is effed up. You can't blame us. We don't have the power. Remember? Latinos don't have the power. Remember? Asians don't have the power. Remember? Mixed people don't have the power. Remember? This is y'all's country, remember? Y'all, the forefathers were white, remember? They built it. You didn't live up to their vision. That's why every time you get to the second floor, you fall through. Because you wanted not yourself to go to Home Depot or Lowe's to go fix it. You wanted somebody else to fix it. All you wanted to do was sit in the corner and direct them to fix it. And you got away with it for years because they just wanted to be a part of the housing structure. Now that you taught them how to build the house and how to fix it, they went and did it themselves. Their shit is immaculate. But now you're blaming them because your house is in disarray. And instead of going to say, you know what? Let me go look at the history first and see where the problem started. You're going to blame your neighbor for the problems in your house. You don't like roofs. Okay, that's fine. What does that have to do with you fixing your own house? Y'all don't like black people. That's cool. Fine. Whatever. What does that have to do with your bias? Why are you not checking for the next generations, making sure they're straight? Why are you sending them out there on dummy missions based off your teachings? We already know y'all are hard-headed. We already know this. Don't make your children hard-headed. All you have to tell them is, listen, everybody in the world ain't gonna like you. That's all you got to say. They don't need to be coming around there with their binkies and their tablets and hearing you in the kitchen talking to your significant other or people that you let in your house saying how bad black people are, how bad Latinos are, how bad Asians are, Haitians eating dogs, and y'all sitting there laughing. Because maybe you don't know this. You've got all them kids, Matt Walsh. They listen to you. They observe you, you dumbass. Maybe you forgot that lesson as a father. They're watching you on YouTube. Oh, look at daddy. And they're hearing you act, not only be stupid, but be racist and ignorant at the same time. And since you don't teach them right from wrong, unless it's against liberals or transgenders, they're going to go outside with that same bias. Except now you forget there's a new generation coming. We don't teach our kids that soft shit no more. You send your kids out there with that racist shit, they're going to come back with a black eye. But you're so watered down, you won't tell them how to fight it. And now you've just created another set of racists. Because instead of confronting the problem and confronting their own biases, they're going to think that they were right based on what daddy told me, what daddy said. And the cycle continues.
With the black community as it stands right now in America. Yes, as we've already established, there was actual systemic racism against the black community for a long time.
You just said, oh, never mind.
It's a terrible, evil thing. Everybody agrees on that point. I don't think anyone disagrees. That is over now. There is no longer a system in place that is designed to deprive black Americans of rights. I mean, would you agree with that at least?
No, I do think it's still designed that way.
You idiot! No,
where it can't be litigated because it's not
in
the law.
Okay, but so can you point to me an exact point of the system, an exact place in the system, a policy that is designed to deprive black Americans of rights?
JINSA, JINSA. Yes, JINSA, sir. I know in your vapid mind, you don't know what that is. We're going to help you real quick. JINSA is that nice little exchange program that the U.S. and Israel does. You know, when they send over all them cops and them governors and them police chiefs and them commissioners, yeah. And those mayors, yeah. And they go over to Israel to learn counterterrorism strategies every goddamn year. And then they come back and all of a sudden, what they be doing in the West Bank, somehow they're doing it in West Atlanta on the West Side. Yeah, there's a policy right there. They're just not going to put it in Congress on the books because, you know, they can't have the people understand what they're doing. Your police are a perfect example of that. You know, the ones where y'all every 5 minutes, y'all yelling back to blue until they do something to you. Then you can't defend them no more.
The same people that designed the system to protect the wealth of the upper class,
in
the 40, throughout American history, like continued to be in control.
Yeah, but now you're talking about class, not race. I'm talking about race.
Right, but how do you disrupt class if you're so segregated by? I mean, how do you disrupt race if you're so segregated by class?
Matt wrote.
Well, but I don't think you can bring class into this because I mean, I would agree that there's. We could talk about class. I'll agree that there are elites who care about themselves and don't care about the lower class. I would say that those people are just as unconcerned with a white person in a trailer park in Appalachia as they are unconcerned with a black person in the inner city. Because it is class. We can talk about that. But my question was, where? Because we talk about the system. It's a broad concept here.
Class is used.
So let's narrow it down. Let's find a piece of the system that we can point to and say, well, this is designed to hurt black people.
Okay, so if you go to Georgia, for instance, after they implemented school desegregation, what they started doing is saying, oh, okay, well, we can't legally keep black people out of our neighborhoods or out of our schools, but what we can do is we can secede from our neighborhoods. I mean, you've been to the Atlanta suburbs?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
Like every four,
Unfortunately.
like every four,
Try to stay away.
Yeah.
like every 4 blocks for a long time, you had like new school districts, and they would be drawn. They would be just basically gerrymandered. Like they would know where the white people were, and they would gerrymander the school district so that only white people would be a part of this.
Yeah, you're going back to desegregation.
No. This is what they're doing now.
They're literally doing this now, Matt. I know you don't live down here. I know you don't pay attention to the South, even though you live in the South. But okay, yeah, Buckhead tried that, sir. Big story. Buckhead tried that. St. George in Louisiana tried and was successful. This is the face of someone that's getting cooked. Buckhead literally tried to get away from Atlanta proper. Baton Rouge already did it. They already approved it. St. George is coming. We did a story about that last year. We're just waiting for those numbers to find out how the white people go fuck around and they're not gonna have as much money as they thought they did. But okay.
This is up to today. Like, so what they're doing is they're saying, okay, these are the new laws in place. However, we like our system of segregation and racism that we have here. So how do we hire the best lawyers?
Is that about class?
Or to show that, but it's also about race.
Well, but I'm saying, do you think primarily in the minds of the designers of the system, are they actually discriminating intentionally on a class basis, or is it
pretty race driven?
I don't think that there's any evidence that it's race driven. I think in like an example you give, it's class, it's people wanting to avoid crime-ridden, impoverished areas. Not, maybe someone doesn't want to send their.
How'd that work for Buckhead, sir? They put all them resources to make their city a haven for business, for the affluent to live. The two most famous malls in Georgia, and two of the most famous in the country, are in their city. And they're still being hit with crime. How'd that work for Beverly Hills, one of the most exclusive neighborhoods in the country, in the world? They have a crime problem. Upper East Side in New York, the Upper West Side. The Gold Coast in Chicago. How did that work? You can't pay to kill crime, sir.
Their kids to school in a place that's high crime. There's going to be a lot of delinquency and everything in the school
system. You hear him.
I don't think it's because the kids are black. It's just because of that. And
you hear him.
The other thing is when we talk about,
but at what point?
When we talk about school districts or the way communities are set up, here's another point that rarely comes up. It's pretty simple. You can move, right? So you can always move. I mean, if you live in a community where you're claiming it's been set up systemically to disadvantage it, I don't buy that. But if I did, I would say, well, you should probably move from that community. I mean, you can go somewhere else. It's not
because it's just that easy just to move. In this economy, it's just that easy to move. Oh my God. This fool just said, just move. Because people have thousands of dollars to hire moving companies to take their shit. They have the time to invest, especially if they have a family, to pack all their shit. They have the resources to go to these next areas, to go search for a job and adequate housing. They have that time. They have that opportunity cost. According to Matt Walsh, people can just afford to leave their state or go across their state. They can just afford to do that. Anybody can do it because they live in a bad neighborhood. Regardless of the fact that the people that live in bad neighborhoods do their thing and they still can't leave because of the economics that are going on in this country. Let me help you, Matt. I moved during the scamdemic, and that's only because of what the government gave everybody. We saved that up and said, we got to get the fuck out of New York. If it wasn't here, we were going to go to Charlotte. If it wasn't Charlotte, we were going to go to Texas, or we were going to go to Maryland. Those were the 4 places. Florida was a distant fifth. And thank God I had my family. My mother paid for the moving truck. She gave me half the money. Well, my parents, I should say. But just somebody can just up and leave.
There's no law saying you can't. And if there was, I mean, if there was a law saying
some HOA situations will like try to,
yeah, but they're not going to say you can't move here if you're black.
It's also why a lot of
yeah.
black.
Oh my God, he's dumb. He's dumb. What do you think the purpose of an HOA is? They have to interview you, you fool. They don't have to say you're not going to get in here because you're black. They're going to say we just don't feel like you would. They won't say it like that, but they'll say that we reviewed your application and it's not going to work. Just like at a bank, you can have immaculate credit. You can have all the resources. They still can deny you the loan. And they'll give you a bullshit reason. That's two forms of systemic racism. And that doesn't even have to be exclusive to black people. That can be exclusive to anybody. The system is racist. They're equal opportunity racists. But y'all won't go check the people who started the system and the people that perpetuate it. You're going to blame the participants in it. That's why they love you flunkies. Because even though you're going to land-base the system, you're still going to cape for it. We don't cape for the system. All right, you want to give us about opportunity? Cool, we're going to take it and we're going to move on. We ain't going to say nothing about it. But we're going to call it out. Because we want shit to get better.
Community groups support voucher systems to allow, like, work with conservatives on voucher systems to allow kids to get to different schools.
So when you see stats that say like a black homeowner who's trying to get a mortgage, who has a higher credit score and higher income, gets a higher interest rate from the average bank than a white applicant. A bunch of these studies have been done where they'll put in like a black sounding name and higher credit scores, higher income.
Don't forget about affirmative action with the main
better candidates on paper, other than their name, and they get overall, like there have been so many studies that have replicated this. They get a higher interest rate, which means their cost of borrowing is higher, means the mortgage is higher, which means you have to have that much more, money to move into the neighborhood that you're talking about. So systemically, it doesn't say, well, if you're black, you can't live here, but systemically what it does is it makes it easier for white people to move into these wealthier neighborhoods, harder for black people to move into those neighborhoods, and that's before you even get to the wealth effect. Jim Crow, only ended recently, which means that if you look at the kind of savings rates and the inheritance rates for the average black family, it's close to nil, especially after the subprime mortgage wipeout of 2008, compared to white families, which can go to mom and dad.
That wasn't systemic racism.
Grandpa and say, can you help put my kids in private school? Can you pay the down payment? 20% is an awful lot for this mortgage.
Generational wealth.
Yeah.
Right.
So you combine the fact that they have to pay higher interest rates with the fact that there's lack of generational wealth. That to me is systemic. But I'm curious specifically on the interest rate question. What's going on there? And should that be a problem that we as a democratic society should address? Like, why are black loan applicants paying higher mortgage interest rates across the board? And that is replicated across the economy.
Okay, I'd have to look at the studies you're talking about. You say that they've been replicated time and time again. There's no issues
What do
with
you
the
mean
studies.
you have to look at it?
I'm sure people can pick some of the studies apart, but it's pretty well accepted.
Yeah, I'd have to know who is accepted by exactly. But
oh my God!
So for the sake of argument, let's say that those studies are totally legit. I would still go back to a class issue on that, and the reason is that look, banks.
But the white.
Well, can we explain? Like banks care about the money. That's all they care about. They don't care about. I mean, these banks are not being run by people who are saying, we got to keep black people poor. They don't care about that. I don't think they care about anybody. They care about the money. And so, if that's happening, they're making stereotypical assumptions, class-based assumptions that
has nothing to do with class.
I believe they would probably also make if somehow they got they had the impression that this was, say, a white quote unquote white trash, as they're often called, from the trailer park. If I think the banks would have the same sort of skeptical, discriminatory attitude in that case as they would to someone who they're assuming is from the inner city, let's say.
Right, but so
what?
The other word for that would be implicit bias. So let's say the banks.
We have to wrap, by the way. We have a hard note.
Oh, but let's say that. Okay, well, we got to wrap in a second. But let's say the banks.
Y'all not gonna keep
only
around
do care
for
about money.
Palestine
That's
or Command Me or
reasonable thing
Vance
to
or
say.
Hezbollah?
So then, what
I'm
could
shocked.
explain why they would treat the two differently? It would have to be like you're saying. So but what you're saying is there might be some implicit bias toward if they could identify some poor white guy. Which goes to the point, though,
poor white guys
of how it's easier for poor whites, which I was used to be one of, but it was easier for me to migrate out. My name is Ryan Gray.
I don't even think
you can't even tell that I was white trash.
Right.
I mean, you can if you know me pretty well, but but you can't tell on a resume or an application.
You see his
to a
arrest
bank.
record.
Yes.
I don't know, you're wearing a tie and everything. I would say. I mean,
there you go.
Could have fooled me.
Yeah.
Look, but I wouldn't even call it implicit bias. I think it's just like banks. They are biased against people they don't think will pay their mortgage, basically.
Right. And so why don't they?
That's everybody.
With a black name
What
will
the
pay.
fuck? That's everybody. He's dumb.
Their mortgage.
Because I think in that case,
despite a high credit score and high income,
if that is true, then they're making they're making class-based assumptions. This is a lower income person coming from a low income neighborhood.
No,
even if
dumbass. No, this guy's an idiot. Matt Walsh, every bank expects you not to pay back your loans. That's how they get money, sir. Either you pay it off and they made something off of it, or you don't fulfill your obligations. They take it back at a little bit of a loss, but then they're going to get their money back anyway. This guy is so dumb. You can't MAGA.
Because I think in that case,
despite a high credit score and high income,
if that is true, then they're making class-based assumptions. This is a lower income person coming from a low income neighborhood, even if their current income is, this.
How did that work for immigrants that get off the boat and they get a loan off top to go open a business? But you're upper echelon, you get 15 years and you want to expand your business and they tell you no, or they give you a shitty rate, even though you've done great business for 15 years. How do you explain that? Is that not systemic racism?
The same as that's the background, and so
sounds like those people face a systemic problem.
Well, class-based, but that's
not a class.
We're getting told.
We're getting.
Oh my God, he's dumb. Okay, and there you are, family. They're not sending the best and the brightest out here to push the message. Trump, if this is your guy or one of your voices, you're gonna lose in 5 weeks, 6 weeks. You're gonna lose badly. The boy is dumb. The man said there's racism in the country, but it's not systemic. And he just sat there and explained what systemic racism is. Yes, class is part of systemic racism, you retard. Oh my God. You're literally watching family. They're out there arguing for systemic racism. I don't even think a lot of people caught it. They're arguing for the return of the middle class, which is going to be systemically racist against the poor. And it's going to give the upper echelon somebody else to bitch about. Oh my God. You got to love it. Yes, sir.
I hope we didn't get dumber about just listening to that.
No.
Asshole. Jesus Christ. Don't he know about the banks and what the hell they was doing and all the studies that came out?
He didn't see him. You heard him. He didn't do the research.
Of course he don't do research. So he dumb. He a dropout.
He a dropout with 6 kids. Get some.
Jesus Christ. You don't need never mind. It's Saturday. I'm not bringing the babies into it. I'm bringing the babies.
Shout out to the babies.
Yeah, shout out to the babies. Jesus Christ. Shout out to your family though, sir.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ, man. Talking about some classism. Classism ain't got nothing to do with the hell we talking about, sir. Oh
God. Shout out to the poor white trash that be getting it at the rich black folk.
And they think they better than them because they white. Man, get the hell out of here. You're a waste of skin.
Oh my God. Y'all will make a poor white trash go viral for saying something about Megan Thee Stallion.
Or what was it? Never mind. Or hot tour.
Now you
Where's
want to
she
talk
at,
about
by
some
the way?
racism? You want to talk about some racism?
And they want to sit there.
Well, according, hey, Deneen, they said that his movie doing well. Bullshit. I bet you it's
I
not.
ain't never heard of it.
We finna
Never
go
heard
look
of
it
that
up.
movie. Yeah, go look it up, sir, so you can see he lying or not.
Oh God. Well, if he lied about everything else, why would he lie about? Why wouldn't he lie about this?
I don't know. But you notice how they love to put black and Latinos together and them and the Asian community
Wow, he
together.
actually made money. I'm shocked.
Oh, he
made
did?
$6.5 million over $3 million budget.
So he made his money back basically.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't nothing. If he what he made, what is it, $3 million to make it?
He said it had the third biggest opening weekend for a documentary in the past decade and the top opening for political documentary since Fahrenheit 9/11. Okay, let's see if he's going to. Oh Jesus Christ! Look at the poster.
Let's see the poster. If we want to see it.
This fucking guy.
Ew.
A comedy to DEI for.
Yeah,
I tell you them acronyms be kicking their ass, boy.
Jesus Christ. He said he made $3 million to make it.
Yeah.
And he got $3 million back.
He got $3 million back.
Oh, he just basically got his money back.
But here's the thing. Now, according to AP, they say it placed fourth. What was this, last weekend? Yeah, last weekend. It placed fourth. But y'all gotta understand. Am I racist, right? You still had Deadpool. You had Beetlejuice. What was the other one?
What was the other
Speak No Evil.
Yeah, because I was like, nah, Mufasa ain't came out yet. And what's the other movie that's supposed to be coming out in the fall or winter?
That was actually pretty good. I went to go see it. It was actually pretty good. Even though they said it was shitty, but whatever.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the Mufasa movie to come out to see how that is. If they mess that up, God knows I'm going to criticize the hell out of them.
He wasn't going to be Beetlejuice. They really wanted that to go number one.
No, there would be no Beetlejuice. Everybody said it was pretty good. I ain't seen it.
You couldn't beat Deadpool and Wolverine.
And that's been out for what, 2 months, 3 months?
When it come out, July? Yeah, it came out July 26th.
Yeah, been out about almost 2 months now. Shoot.
Right.
I don't know.
Don't tell me it's free on YouTube. Don't tell me that.
What's that? Deadpool and
No, they said that his movie's free on YouTube. If I find it, I ain't gonna watch it. But
if it's free on YouTube, then what was the point of putting it in the theaters?
Nah.
Never mind.
Nah, he ain't put it out there yet.
If he ain't making money in the theaters, he'll put it on YouTube or on that daily Daily Wire crap. But yeah, I don't know, man. He know it's out there. He's just trying to be funny. No, he ain't trying to be. Yeah, he tried to be funny. I don't.
Look, they want to be celebrities. That's what it is.
Yeah, they want to be in Hollywood.
I don't know what this means, Nick. You better
So let me come down there, Miss Nisi.
Imagine taking advice from these two. You better explain this very quickly.
Yeah, you better. You talking to me?
And we're gonna find out. Anyway. Yeah.
That was terrible to listen to, as always.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I just thought about it. With that Mark Robinson piece you did, was it yesterday you did it or Wednesday?
Mm-hmm.
Was those accusations of him doing that stuff, was that recent or that was 20, 30 years ago?
The porn stuff was 20 years ago. The Ashley Madison, they did.
You said Ashley Madison was recent?
Yeah. And the Isaiah stuff, they said it was like a couple years ago. They found out on something for him.
Yeah, I know that Ashley Madison was like a couple years ago. Because some guy I was talking to was like, I like 90% of his agenda. I said, all right, you can go ahead and vote for him. I don't care.
Yeah,
but
do you think?
But he said he was a black someone. So I was like, oh no, you ain't. And your opponent is of that community. Yeah, you not winning that, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Pray for us in North Carolina, people in the chat. Pray for us. He'd be right there with Kenny Jew 1.3 looking ass. But yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and hop off, kid, because I don't know if anybody else is coming up, sir. So I'll hop off. Somebody else wants to come on and speak with the gravity, sir. Man,
pause yourself, man.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Did this guy just sit there and describe redlining without saying redlining?
Yes. They're
Thought
not
so.
smart. They're not smart. I tell you, they're not smart.
This is what almost got one of my coworkers punched in the face and me losing my job. He's like, you know what he said to me, KG? One of my coworkers of Italian descent. He's like, they don't do stuff like that. The reason why black people don't get loans is because they got bad credit. I was like, I gave him that Randy Moss to Trent Dilfer look. I was like, I'm gonna step out the ambulance right now. Okay. He's like, what? I was like, just give me a moment. Man.
What if I told you about the American racists? They will say something and within 10 seconds own themselves.
Yep, pretty much. And I just like how when he started that stammering, when the dude was basically cooking him, I was like, yeah, he got nothing to it. He got nothing.
Took his phone to the other room. He probably spilled that macaroni and cheese on his phone and it errored.
I know you hear me.
Oh, now I hear you.
I know you hear me. And I heard that whole line.
You heard both of them.
Yeah. Well, you know what, man? You don't knock it till you try it. I'm tired of you talking shit about my recipe, man.
Heartburn, my nigga. No,
it's only a half teaspoon in the whole recipe. The whole casserole. It ain't spicy. It got a little bit of it.
Sure, he black American. He just said macaroni and cheese is a casserole.
No, you know what I mean.
No, I don't.
Meaning the whole contents, the whole pan. Okay, is pan better?
That's that tether talk. You better watch it.
Ain't no tether talk. Stop, KG. You wouldn't know tether talk because that's what you are.
I don't know.
You wouldn't know because that's what you are. I know you down with the cousins.
I don't know.
I know you down with the cousins, but we get it, bro. We get it. You know the talk.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I really don't.
Okay. All right, man.
I don't weird to them, bro.
I'm sorry, and I'm outside walking my dog. Okay, so
all right. How they go with the Hawaiian?
The what? Oh, that went good. We about to go out tomorrow too.
Get some.
Well, man, I had what was the steak again? I had on my birthday on Wagyu.
Wagyu, nigga.
Shut up, man. See, you only tell us we know how. Only tell us we know how to pronounce it. Yo.
Yeah. Yo yourself, nigga.
You should be. You in the food business. You should know.
Find yourself, nigga.
You should know. But you gotta understand who I work around. And we talked about this. I got in trouble because I had to check somebody on this whole situation with because I think they was following something related to politics, and I had to return fire in the ambulance, and they basically pulled me into the office like, Kareem. I'm like, yeah. They was like, how's your work shifts working with this person? I was like, oh, they went well. How was it yesterday? I was like, nothing happened. What happened? Well, this person said that you made them feel uncomfortable. I'm like, oh, come on.
No politics in the rig.
Exactly my point. They started it, I finished it. What you want from me?
Yes,
seriously. Right. I don't know, man. But yeah, I said it. I said that's on the screen. And y'all can joke me all you want, KG.
No, you good. You good. Ain't nobody joking you.
I see it on the screen. Take it off the screen, nigga.
Oh, that? Oh, you talking about that?
Yes.
That.
Because I call it that by the dish I make it in. The glass dish. Pyrex is what people be cooking coke in too. So you gotta be specific. You gotta be
the Pyrex, my nigga.
You gotta be specific. You got the Pyrex that you cook crack in. You cook crack in the Pyrex.
Crack and you cook that nasty ass mac and cheese.
It ain't nasty.
Set down, my nigga. He about to get with that Hawaiian. He about to put spam up in that motherfucker. You heard what I said?
Shut up. She's
Hey,
vegan.
hey.
She vegan. She vegan, my dude. What
This
are you
video
talking about?
spam. We showed this, my nigga. Now sit down.
Oh, here you go.
Tethers win. Tethers win.
They always do, huh?
Bullshit. They
Ask Joy
taking
Reid.
L's right now. They all taking L's.
I know, like Joy Reid. Who else? Even what's his name? One crack
Wait,
a crack dealer.
Who?
It isn't the former the dude that used to do crack. Sell crack. Byron Donald. What his name is? Isn't he Tether?
Weed. Yeah, he Jamaican and Panamanian. Where he at? They don't even put. He stay getting on TV getting cooked.
Yeah.
Living getting cooked.
Let me get.
They don't even care. I got to see that video of him with that town hall. I gotta see it. I gotta see the bullshit he said. I'm gonna go look for it later.
All right, man. I'm gonna go back down. Finish walking this dog.
Pause.
What?
Yes, sir.
Pause. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that macaroni and cheese casserole. Sound tasty. Brief commentary.
Casserole and shit. You got the casserole, sir.
I like the save though, KG. It's by which I use the dish I prepare the meal in that determines the name of it. I'm with it.
Cheese.
Hey, Pyrex casserole. Let's get it.
Pan and cheese.
I'm with the Pyrex casserole. Let's get it.
Anyways, shout out to what's his name? Fetty Wap.
Right? Brief commentary on the interview. First off, yeah.
Word, Myron, you said white supremacy is good. That's what you said. Say less, my G. Say less. Go ahead.
Nah, first off, he's a moron. And he was just in particular, as pertains to body language, he was quite uncomfortable every time dude pushed back with a question that would try to that would actually get him to try and explain, his ideations and his ideology as a whole. And he couldn't do it. He's uninformed and ill-prepared. The very interesting part of the whole interview was every time the dude asked him a question and he pushed back, he used the attributes that would reinforce the dude's question as the pushback. I'm like, what kind of idiot reinforces the question he asked with the answer as a default in opposition? I'm like, that makes no sense. I mean, it was painful to watch, just watching this moron. When did he come into political prominence? You would have a better idea.
He came in around when Trump got in.
Okay, that was my guess. I said, let me ask KG.
Oh, you want to hear something painful? Wait till what y'all see what I got tomorrow. I got that Command Me Oprah Winfrey piece.
Oh my!
Oh, if you thought that this was painful.
Yo, when I was in 3rd and 4th grade, Oprah Winfrey gave the speech at my school and whatnot, because she used to be on WJZ in Baltimore as a kid for me growing up. Her and Sam Donaldson, they had the morning show. So I remember our school's budget wasn't much. So, they had Oprah come in the first year and the second year. I was like, hey, it's Oprah, everybody, again. So it's what it is. But anyways, let me get up off here. Appreciate you. Let me come on for the comment.
Again, pause. I'm just an asshole. How Miss Nisi be saying it? I'm her favorite shit starter. Bruh. The streets is saying they made a documentary on Apple TV for Oprah, and it was so bad that she paid so it doesn't get released. Bruh. That's crazy. That is insane. Yes, sir. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was Wallow J. Good evening, beloved.
Good morning.
Yeah,
How
that
you?
too. Same old is. No more allergies. They went away.
Well, did you try that peppermint oil?
No, I just went to sleep.
Okay. Well, anywho, let's change the subject, please. The chat needs some laughs, so give us some laughs, please.
Okay. What could we laugh at real fast before I have to go to the plantation? Let me see what I put in the bookmarks real quick. Oh, you can laugh at this. Yes, I just found this morning. Matt Walsh, we need to have a conversation. Since you love talking about black folks so much, we're gonna give you another dummy mission. We're going to make you laugh at a supposed Latino or Asian. He might be ambiguous, and y'all won't believe what this person did. Where is my transition? There it is.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern.
Now, we're going to show you.
Fuck McDonald's. I'm finna crash into it on my mama.
On his mama.
Dramatic crash at a McDonald's in Springfield. Miraculously, the driver was able to get out of the car without help and is recovering from their injuries.
TikToker Amigo Chino placed on house arrest for crashing into a...
They put me on house arrest, but if this video blow up, I'll cut it for real. Hey, yo, if you don't know who I am, I'm the dude who cut my ankle monitor on TikTok Live. This is my makeshift camp until I get to the next location. You feel me? But, you know, I'm heading towards New York. So, let me pull up. Hey, yo, the feds ain't never gonna catch me. I see y'all in New York. We finna turn up when I get over there.
I said make me laugh, not make me hurl.
I was thinking you were going to laugh because...
Ain't nothing funny about that stupid shit.
Okay. You want to laugh at Myron getting owned again?
No.
No, that's not funny enough. Here you go.
Right to his ass.
No.
Safety off. The other one.
That wasn't funny enough?
KJ.
What?
I don't want to watch no stupid ass white folks doing dumb ass shit. No.
The cats eat the...
Yeah. I want to hear that.
The cat, eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
Damn it.
Dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat.
Why is it? What is wrong?
Eat the cat.
Don't start.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cat.
Oh my God. What are you doing? Now it wants to play?
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
Oh my goodness. You need to check out Black Light Revelations Drop, the remix. That daggone song been stuck in my head for 2 days.
Hey, there you go. Yo, your jaws is dogged.
Yo!
Classic film. Do the right thing.
Yo!
Yes.
Hey, Miss Nation.
You almost knocked me down, man.
What is excuse me? Hold on.
Miss Nation.
Good morning, Wallow.
Oh, okay, I'll make sure. Can you play Myron getting cooked again? I'm sorry. I want to hear him get cooked again.
He almost knocked me down, man. The word is excuse me. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Shalom, brother DSB.
White Air Jordans that I just bought. That's all you have to say is excuse me. Wait, sir. Man, good story, though. Oh, man, you might as well throw them shits out. Them shits is bro. Building boy messing up. He did this shit on purpose, man. He was even talking about your mama. Yo, man, how much you pay for him?
$108 with tax.
I give him
$108 with tax.
He's a black man, has a loving heart. Next time you see me coming, man, you cross the street quick. I'm out of here. Yo, man, break his feet. Take his dog. I should make you buy me another pair. Black Panther will whoop his ass. Take his bike. Man, you lucky I'm a righteous black man. I thought you'd be in serious trouble, man. Serious. Then why'd you move back to Massachusetts? I was born in Brooklyn.
Classic.
Man, I was born in Brooklyn. Here you go. That's Miss Nancy.
Hit them motherfuckers. I said hit them motherfuckers. Hit them motherfuckers. Look at that. It's over with y'all. Hell yeah. I said hit them motherfuckers. I ain't trusting that shit.
That man Nancy right there. She'd pack food right in front of her.
It's just like that. Oh, shit. I ain't trusting the motherfucking thing around this joint. Not tonight. Not the goddamn fucking night. It's going down in the den tonight.
Now back y'all ass up. I'm all that going down. Back your ass up. So back you. Come out.
It's going down tonight. It's going down tonight in the den. Tonight. I gotta go to the store and get me some bills. When they on that back ass bullshit, do y'all hear me? Yeah, I'm winning the game tonight. Hey, that's what I do. Do y'all hear me tonight? It's going down.
This hat off.
Thank you, KG.
You're welcome. This song.
Ooh, you don't ever do that.
To the actual damn hat. You worried about the gear? You can turn into a whole new damn person instantly. That
That's what's up.
thing is fully functional. Oh my gosh!
I mean, Eric.
Chicken?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Stay
wow.
Stay on site.
You doing the right thing, you run.
Damn right. I be running for them geese, boy.
Oh, them geese. Oh, you don't play with them.
Oh my god!
What's the
Now,
weather
KG,
like in North Kakalaki, Wallow?
it's good. It's like 80 degrees. It feels nice outside.
Okay. What about you, KG?
It's 83 right now.
Well, it's about that. It's overcast here in West Virginia.
White supremacy playing with the weather.
Global warming.
You sound like a liberal.
Fuck you.
Hey.
Hey, what?
Hey.
Hey, what?
Hey.
Hey, what?
You don't say that.
I said it. I would.
None.
Thank you.
Don't do that to Miss Niecy, kid.
He the shit stir.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he ain't got nothing better to do.
But that's why we love him.
You love him to a certain point.
No, I love him.
I love him to a certain point too. You start trolling and shit.
No, as always, thank you, KG, for always keeping the family informed because we need to know the real. Because this shit show, my God, 2024 thus far just been feels like a damn Twilight Zone.
Yes, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do out here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we as the
unfortunately.
people have always been doing what we gotta do. Ain't never what we wanna do.
Well, you should be doing more because according to Matt Walsh, there ain't no systemic racism.
Fuck Mac Walsh.
There you
This
go.
stupid ass.
There's that. Oh, by the way, if y'all would like to, tonight, Marcel is going to be talking to O'Clyburn. So make sure y'all.
Ooh, yes, please, please.
Let me see. I know they're doing it on. I think what'd she say? Oh, somebody's gonna be there to. I think they're gonna be. What do you call it? They're gonna host a Twitter space, and I think they're gonna be playing it.
You better cook that old food.
Well, let's hope. So we're gonna put that in the chat, so y'all can go look at that later. And I'll put it in the comments too, because I know how they don't like to give me my shit.
Oh, I just remembered something, KG.
Mm-hmm.
I like what you did for your family, taking them to the reptile expo. But I did not appreciate you showing them rodents.
Me, y'all?
Yeah, while you was streaming, you showed all this nasty looking mess.
Oh. I ain't the one that sold it though.
I ain't said you was responsible for selling it. You didn't have to show it.
But it's part of the exhibit. I wanted to show everything.
I'm sorry.
No.
Okay. I apologize then.
No, you don't. You meant to do that shit.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, like I said, we was in the wrong business. But yeah, let me go get ready to get to the plantation.
All right, well, gentlemen, y'all have a blessed weekend. Be careful, be safe. Much love. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes, ma'am.
All
right, kid. I'm gonna go ahead and get off.
This fucking guy. He can't help himself. He can't help himself. It's okay though. All right, y'all. Hopefully you learned something. If you did, I done my job. If not, I'll try to be better next time. Join me tomorrow morning. We're gonna look at Oprah and Command Me hooking up. And if you thought today was painful, you ain't heard nothing yet. All right, y'all. Take care, stay safe, and you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your existence.
Wait around. Yep. Mark, yeet, and get out.
Time's up. But did we have a good time here? Hello?
At the end of the day gotta end.
Get your money up, not your funny up. Big fucking move.
That's it.